Hello everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of Book Time with Elvis with me, Mark, and welcome to another edition of a Sunday summary. And of course it's the first day of August, so I can wrap up last month, let you know what I read, what I failed to read, or what I failed to finish so far at least, what I've got coming up, and also a few books I've acquired so far over the summer break. So first up then, it's been actually quite a good reading month for me, actually. I'd say I've reached one of my highest totals. Not that I take it as a competition. I mean, sometimes I may only finish one book in a month. But this month I've managed to read 13. Although, to be fair, some of them were extremely short, especially those to do with my Friday freebie series that I've been doing, where I've been looking at books in the public domain. They're technically short stories that have just been released as individual files, but still, I'm quite pleased with that. The Reading Europe 2021 competition helped as well to bolster my numbers. And of course, July was also the month of Jane Austen July. And sadly, I haven't finished Northanger Abbey, but I'm not far away. So I plan to get that done at least this week. But I suppose it doesn't really matter as long as I finish it. And as I was saying to a friend of mine yesterday, I don't really understand why it's taking me so long because I really enjoyed it. Actually, it's quite interesting. It's been a revelation. Jane Austen's got a good sense of humor. It wasn't the kind of she wasn't like I kind of assumed that she would be. So more fool me for making silly assumptions. I thought. It's old-fashioned to say, perhaps, and I'm ashamed for saying it, but I will. I thought perhaps it was, literature aimed more at females. But I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I will definitely finish it, and I will certainly, read some of her other works. So yeah, more fool me, as I say, for being kind of narrow-minded and foolish with regards to Jane Austen. So she deserves definitely to get finished, and as I said, I will definitely seek out her other works. I do have a copy of Emma here, which I do want to read. People have told me Northanger Abbey is probably one of the weaker ones, but as I say, it's my first introduction to it, and I don't really understand why it's kind of taken me so long. I suppose I've not been fair in devoting my attention to it. I put that on other things, and that's wrong of me, but I'll certainly do my best to remedy that. Anyway, the other books I've read, I won't go through them all because, as I said, there's about 13 or so of them. I will show them at some point in the video, just in a list, so you can see if you're curious. Videos have been made where I've talked about most of them anyway. Of course, Three Men in a Boat was one that I got to reread and finish, which was great. And Reading Europe 2021 did allow me to explore some new authors, which I wouldn't have done otherwise, which was really good. Another book I finished, I suppose technically in July, because I finished it yesterday, although I failed to add it to my books read on Goodreads rather, excuse me, until this morning, which was this book, Mudbound, if you see that, Mudbound, by Hilary Jordan. It was very kindly sent to me by Summer at Cozy Reading with Quaker Cats. She thought I would enjoy it, and she was absolutely right. It was fantastic, I have to say. I really enjoyed it. I wouldn't have thought it was my normal reading material at first, but I don't know, I kind of was just looking through it, and I started reading the first chapter, and then I was hooked. And that's the shameful thing. It's probably 100 pages more than Northanger Abbey, yet I read it in pretty much a day, whereas it's taken me a month to go through that. But I suppose it does happen from time to time. Mudbound is a really moving, heartbreaking story set in Mississippi in the 1940s, with the Jim Crow laws and kind of mixed relations and relationships between the races. Some positive, some negative, well, mostly negative, of course, given the situation down there, but some that kind of have an air of positivity about it, which unfortunately, you know, only ends up in a tragic way. So I hope that's not a spoiler, but I would recommend very highly anybody picking this up. It was a really good book. So thank you ever so much, Summer, for the recommendation and for sending that to me. That was really very thoughtful of you. So coming up in August, I have 3 events that I've signed on to read for. One is the Book Trek 2021, a 5-month voyage, was it? Excuse me, I don't know, I can't remember. Mission, a 5-month mission, that's right. I'm not a huge Trekkie, as you can probably tell, so I've kind of done this to, you know, expand my horizons. Strangers from the Sky is the book I'm going to be reading. It was recommended by Steve Donoghue and Vin at Revenant Reads, who is hosting this wonderful read-along. And I'm hosting myself a read-along of Herodotus. I'll be reading the Tom Holland version, but other people will be reading the landmark Herodotus, Aubrey de Selincourt's version or translation of Herodotus, as well as a few others. You know, the group we've got on Voxer, if you're interested, feel free to join. You can find my ID at the bottom. You can message me. It's a very mixed group of people who really know the book very well and great lovers of the book, as well as some first-timers too. I fall kind of in between, having only read Aubrey de Selincourt's version once many years ago. You know, so I'm not nervous, but you know, there are certainly people who have better knowledge of it in the group than me, but I hope to use that to learn from them and find out things that I probably didn't get the first time around while reading that. And the second thing I'm doing is a buddy read with Matthew at Bottle Imp Books. We're reading Sister. Oh, I can't even remember. I said to myself, I read it up before I went, I cannot remember the name of this book in the right order. City, Silver, City. No. Sister, City, Silver? I honestly, I apologize. I'll probably end up putting it below. Silver, City, Sister. Oh, it's crazy. But it's by Joachim Topol, a well-known Czech writer. And I'm really looking forward to that. It seems like it's going to be a challenging book, but I'm sure doing it with someone like Matthew will be great fun. And I really look forward to see what his insights into that will be. And it actually brings me on to my next thing I wanted to just talk about a little bit, with some of the acquisitions that I had in July and June, which maybe I didn't mention before. And one of them I'm reading to try and get in the mood for City Silver Sister, if that's right, is this one by Richard Bassett, and it's Last Days of Old Europe. It's a kind of collection of essays taking in Trieste of 1979, Vienna in 85, and Prague in 89. And of course, it's the Prague section that will be most useful as background reading for Topol's big book. Yeah, and then there were a few others that I got. One I have to lay the responsibility for at the door of Aaron Facer, which is this one, The Hare with the Amber Eyes, or Hare with Amber Eyes, and it sounds really amazing. It's a true story written by Edmund Duval, and it's following these curiosities that were in his family for many years and what happened to them throughout the tumults of the 20th century. And it seems really good. It gets certainly a good write-up, and I know Aaron really enjoyed it, so I'm really looking forward to reading that. Another one I have acquired is Stefan Zweig's Shooting Stars, which again is a collection of essays. It's called 10 Historical Miniatures, and he looks at 10 pivotal and important events throughout history, and I look forward to reading that because I do like the way he writes. One I've been meaning to get for a long while since I read, in fact it was the first video I put on YouTube, was my review of John Steinbeck's, sorry, trying to do it like a John Steinbeck's Russian journal, which I thought was fantastic. If you are interested in Russian history or the Soviet Union and you want to read some kind of first-hand account by a fantastic writer, then I would recommend everybody read that. So it put me in mind of wanting to read his book called Travels Through America, which is Travels with Charlie, where he goes in 1958, I believe, to kind of rediscover his country that he's written so much about, and he does this road trip with his French poodle called Charlie. So I think that's going to be fantastic. Another one I got because partly of the Reading Europe 2021 challenge, it got me thinking about football books, and there was one that really jumped out at me, which is this one here called Troutman's Journey, from Hitler Youth to FA Cup Legend. And this follows the life of Bert Troutman, who was Man City goalkeeper for many years. He was in the German army, maybe the Luftwaffe, I believe, and he even won an Iron Cross First Class in the Second World War. He was taken prisoner. He spent time in England, and it kind of made him reevaluate his life, and he turned to football, and he became a footballing legend at Manchester City Football Club. He played an FA Cup final, at least the last third of it, I believe, with a broken neck. So yeah, it's going to be a very interesting read as well. I had to get this one as I saw it was apparently the funniest travel book ever written, but we'll have to see, and that's Remote People by Evelyn Waugh, and it starts off with his travels in Ethiopia, I think following the coronation of Haile Selassie, and then other travels throughout Ethiopia and different places as well. So I think that will be very interesting too. In September, October, I should remember, I have a buddy read with David Wiley and Very Literary Carrie on SPQR by Mary Beard. She's a great writer, great classicist, fantastic woman as well. And I read a few of her others, and I haven't read this yet, but I'm really looking forward to getting to that too. And that brings me on to another historical one, which is The Romanovs by Simon Sebag Montefiore, which I've been meaning to read for a very long time. I doubt I'll get to it this month, but certainly hope to before the end of the year. And I kind of want to read all of his books, his Russian non-fiction books, to bring me right up to his book on Stalin at the Court of the Red Tsar, which I've also got, but I haven't read yet. So I kind of want to put it all in, probably with this one, then his one on Potemkin and Catherine the Great, the young Stalin, and as I say, the Stalin at the Court of the Red Tsar, which would be very good. But I really look forward to that. It's a beautiful cover as well. Those of you who watch this channel know that I do like classical music, and I was able to get a hold of this book here, Beethoven, if you can't see the glare, A Life in 9 Pieces. And apparently it's all about, well, it's a biography of Beethoven told through 9 important pieces that he wrote and what was happening in his life at the time he wrote them. And the last one was a bit of an impulse one, because I had read his books, a couple of his books many years ago. I read his book Serum and Ruska, and he writes these big historical fiction epics, and I saw it and just thought, well, it's right up my street, and that's Edward Rutherford's China, an epic novel, which is quite big, you can see, and I think that will be great, and I really look forward to getting to that, though of course when, I'm not sure. It all depends on how quickly, well, I'm not going to rush through Herodotus and the others, because you know, I can't really, and I don't want to, so they'll be got to within a couple of months, and if not, you know, there's no hurry really on any of these things. So that's it for me. I will be back, of course, with some more videos from probably tomorrow. And I thank you, as always, for watching. And I look forward to reading any comments you may have down below. And as I say, if you want to join in the Herodotus read, it starts today. It's not too late, though. You can put it in the comments and find my Voxer ID in the description as well for the video. So take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and see you all soon. Bye bye.